Here we have the new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. This one comes in a TRD Sport trim level in a double cab configuration, 4-wheel drive. Comes in blue crushed metallic, and then we have black and ash cloth interior. Powertrain consists of a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine made to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Really like this blue crushed metallic. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with our LED fog lights. And I just really like this trim here, just how everything goes together, especially with this blue. It's just a fantastic look. Down here to the wheels, these are gonna be 18-inch alloy. And then one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors. Power window lock there, power door lock controls, power mirror controls. We do get blind spot monitors in the side mirrors. I like the TRD badging there. Hood release. Love those pedals. And then here's our manual driver's seat, but we do get power lumbar support. So it's a 6-way manual seat. We can pump the seat up or down. Seat back there, seat bottom here. And a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. This is kind of my space here. And I did have to make sure the steering wheel's all the way up, and it's kind of a tight squeeze in there, but it makes sense for how this truck is shaped. So not terrible in terms of the space, just not great. 2 USB-C charge ports, seat back pocket there. See if I can step out of here. And then if you ever want to lift this up, we have storage underneath there as well. You can see that through the glare. Fuel cap. And there's a look at the back end, LED tail lamps. So look underneath, spare tire, exhaust. Easy let down tailgate, which I like. And then a bed liner spray on here. But I like the presence of LEDs pretty much everywhere here, inside, outside, all of that. And here's the price, particularly at John Roberts, $46,739 is the sticker, and then it's at $42,063 right now. And then we do get a 6-way front passenger seat too. A lot of the times you don't even see that, so I'm glad that we have that ability to pump the seat up or down. Because again, usually on the passenger side, if it's manual, you just get that 4-way. So I appreciate that. USB-C port there, storage tray up top, lockable glove compartment with owner's manuals here. And then you all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look at anything. But there's the window sticker. And fuel economy numbers are pretty impressive, I think. Now, as we come back around to the front, we're just gonna take a quick look in the engine bay. And there's that 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. So before we hop in, just gonna show off the turn signals. So there's the back. And there's the front. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat next. So leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Love having the bigger screen in this Tacoma. We have the option to use the navigation subscription. For audio, we do get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, and then wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. When your device is connected, you kind of have everything there. And it's just a pretty simple screen. but there are a lot of settings you can actually change. If you go down to these general settings, you can change your language and units here. It's set based to the regional location, but when you turn that off, you can kind of fool with everything there. And then language again. And then Bluetooth devices, Wi-Fi connections, all of that can be fooled with as well. Backup cameras here, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. You can turn those off if you so choose. And actually set it up several different ways. With volume knobs here, you can turn this up and then click that to turn the audio off. And down here, we have the single zone automatic climate control, so we can set the auto here. And then you just cut that off by adjusting the fan speed, defrosters, heated mirrors, and then we have the air direction there that we can change, and then the AC toggles here. Push this to cut the whole system off, and then your hazards over here on the side. Now behind the shifter, you do have two USB-C ports you can plug in and then have your phone sitting here. There's a 12 volt there. A little additional storage here on the side too, so I really like how they've kind of maximized that. You have an electronic parking brake, you pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. Auto brake hold there. And then here we can go between our 4-wheel drive manually if you want to do high and then a low. Pretty easy to do. And then you can go through your drive modes here. So tow haul mode, push that to get that going. And then you can see you have that there. And then go to drive modes and you can toggle between those, between eco, normal, and sport. But for the shifter, push this button, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you can come over here and you can manually shift there. Bottle holders here, center console cubby space. There's a look at the back seat from up here. LED lights there. Sunglasses holder. And then for your vanity mirror, we actually get an LED light there, and that's just impressive for me. In a pickup truck in general, you really don't see that. But back to the steering wheel itself, blinkers, and then your high beams. Intermittent wipers are over here, so one time off, intermittent low, high. We can adjust that intermittent frequency there. And then Bluetooth, back button, and then these arrows, you can go through your gauge cluster if you want to fool with that. So a few different views, and you can hold the OK button and actually change the settings within if you want to do that. But volume, voice recognition, this goes through track list or radio station presets, and then you can hit that mode button and that goes through the audio sources. Now with the Safety Sense 3.0, we do get the driving support system, so you can go between your cruises here if you want adaptive or regular, adjust the gap for the adaptive there, and then make sure the lane keep system is on, and you can push this, and then that activates your full driving support system. And then you can set your speed and cancel that there. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Tacoma TRD Sport out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Tacoma TRD Sport here, I like the aggressive sound you get. Even though it's a turbocharged 4-cylinder, it still has a bit of grunt to it when you give it throttle. Visibility wise, the hood is kind of coming up with the TRD Sport with the hood scoop and all that, but I really like it. It looks good. Almost kind of mesmerizing in this blue crushed metallic when you're driving down the road. But all in all, it's just it's a simple setup here. I like having the bigger screen, like having the push button start. I just think this interior was very tasteful. Now in terms of the ride quality, and I've said this before on other trim levels, it's just a tad bouncy for me. Just when you hit the the imperfections in the road, you can feel them in the cabin, but it's not something that's necessarily uncomfortable. It's just kind of there. But here in the eco mode, I'm surprised with how well this gets up, how good it feels. And it's just a strong engine for it to be a 4-cylinder. Turboed or not, it feels really good. But in terms of being able to reach everything, I like that the shifter is right here. So if you do want to put in that sport mode, very easy to do. And then pretty easy to just get it back into the normal drive mode or the normal automatic shift mode. Now, personally, the manual seats, having these 6-way manual seats, I like that we get the 2-way power lumbar support. Where they are manual, it's kind of hard to find that perfect spot, and then sometimes you don't know if the seat's locked all the way in or whatever, but it does make you almost have to find that perfect spot. It's not like with an automatic seat, you just kind of scoot it back and then it's like, oh, I can move it while I'm driving, whatever. It kind of pushes you to find that perfect position. And it's great if you're the only person that's going to be driving it, but then if somebody else gets behind the wheel, adjusts the seat or whatever, you're going to be mad having to put that back. But for example, me, no one else ever drives my car, and I have memory seats anyway, so. But that's something that you might be like, you know what? I think it's worth it getting that power seat because I don't want to take 2 minutes every other day if I share a car with somebody to adjust the seat. Now the ride so far has been really good. Again, you can feel the bumps, but they're not uncomfortable. And the driving is, it's just a good feel. Again, for this kind of pickup truck, it makes a lot of sense. It's not as smooth as a Colorado or a Canyon in my opinion, but it's different. And I think if you drive that and you compare it to this, you might find some things you like in the Colorado or Canyon in terms of the ride quality or whatever, but then you might like the dynamics of the actual vehicle better in this Tacoma. But I find it just very easy to get in here and get going. One thing I do like that we have in this is we do get the tow haul mode, and then on top of that you get the eco, normal, and sport drive modes. But I'm gonna get on the interstate here. I'm gonna put it in a sport mode, and I'm not gonna floor it, but I'm gonna give it a little something. Here we go. So pretty nice, and especially with the sport mode, it just feels fantastic. It really does. That's very impressive. But let's activate the driving support system. So we have the lane centering on, adaptive cruise. And I want to give one more huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But overall, I mean, I don't know if it's a TRD Sport trim level because I've driven an SR recently and I just felt like that was a bit more stiff. But this feels a lot smoother on the interstate. The sound acoustics feel a lot better. It feels quieter in the cabin. It's just a very impressive overall spec here. And I'll say it again, this blue is fantastic. Love the color. And I think a good time to get these now, I showed earlier in the walk around portion how it's like $4,600 off sticker. And if you can get past the Turbo 4, because a lot of people are like, no, I want my V6. If you drive one of these, you won't miss the V6 in terms of just the acceleration. Now, toe capacity, just the shift patterns and all that, it's gonna be different, but it's a new age and people need to realize we can't put V10s and V8s and everything like we used to. So we might as well make the best of what we have. And I feel like the manufacturers are doing a great job just putting the turbos on these smaller engines to make them feel just as potent, if not quicker, than the outgoing naturally aspirated engines. But in terms of the tech, again, I really like the bigger screen, but I also like the simplicity of it, just having knobs, buttons, nothing I have to fool with in the screen. And I think for the money, if this is something you'll be interested in, like if you're looking at a Ranger, a Colorado, Tacoma, something like that, even a Honda Ridgeline, I think you'll be impressed with this truck. And one other thing I like about it is the blow-off valve. It has a nice aggressive whistle, and you can never go wrong with that. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Tacoma TRD Sport.